Hey gang, Woohoo here, and today I've got some pickups from a Dallas coin shop I went to over the Labor Day weekend. Thought I'd show you what I picked up, all for $8. So this time, let's have a little fun and see how much I profited or didn't profit, as the case may be. Although if you saw my recent short video, I think you already have an idea of how I did. But let's start with some stuff that I'm pretty sure I cannot use anymore, particularly because they are, well, shall we say, no longer current currency, like this Jamaican penny from 1955, a relic from their pre-decimal days. Queen Elizabeth II on the obverse there. This is a little bit smaller than the British pre-decimal pennies that I'm used to seeing. As a matter of fact, I think I've got a couple over here. This one is from the bailiwick of Jersey, 1/12 of a shilling. 300th anniversary of something there. I see C2R, E2R. So E2R is Elizabeth II. I think, is that Charles II? The accession of Charles II, perhaps? But anyway, this is the standard size of a normal British pre-decimal penny as well. See, this one also has Queen Elizabeth II on the obverse. But you see the Jamaican one, just a smidge smaller. So that was pretty neat. This is a one-year type, I'm told, and this is not the only large pre-decimal copper I picked up. Take a look at this one. I didn't have one of these before. A New Zealand pre-decimal penny from 1959. Also Queen Elizabeth II on the obverse. It's interesting to me how there's different orientations of the text of this coin. You see on this one, it goes, it starts down at like 7 or 8 o'clock and wraps around. Here it actually starts closer to 9 and wraps almost completely around the entire coin. So that's interesting. And then, speaking of more different orientations of text, here's another one. This time with George VI on the obverse. Queen Elizabeth's predecessor. This is 1942, 1 penny from South Africa. So same size, it's exchangeable probably for it's probably the same ratio of well, they had the same pre-decimal system is what I'm trying to say. As you can see here, there's the halfpenny, also from South Africa. This one's 1960. This one's also Queen Elizabeth II. Halfpenny's just a little bit smaller, as you can see there. And then, as if that wasn't enough, an Irish penny. A pingin, they called them, from 1948. So that's all there. And then, just to be complete, I picked up a piece of decimal South African currency, 1991, a rather nice year, if I say so myself. 50 cents, so half of a rand currently. I think you can still use this, as far as I know. So anyway, that's the South African collection there. And there's Jersey, like I said, one of the overseas territories. There's New Zealand. The Irish stuff is not complete because there's pre-decimal here and then decimal here, 20p, 1986 from Ireland. I always find it fascinating that when the euro was introduced, the Irish pound was actually one of the few currencies that was worth more than the euro at the time of exchange, if not the only one. And then, not to be outdone, Australian halfpenny, 1962. And I believe that is a dot there after the word penny. Let's see if we can zoom in on that a little bit there. Yeah, you can kind of see very faintly right about there. You can see a dot. I believe that's the Perth Mint. Or it might be Melbourne. I might have that backwards. But that's Queen Elizabeth II on the halfpenny there. And here is a British halfpenny. I'm so used to seeing the ship on there, the Golden Hind, but apparently 1930, prior to the reign of George VI, they had that design. You can see right here, this is actually George V, 1930. And then, because I didn't have one before, a farthing, 1947, with George VI. That's an unfortunate big old gash on the front there, but I didn't have a farthing before. I do have a farthing, but a much older farthing. I did not have one with this wren on it. It was a quarter of a penny, to be to be precise. So it's an interesting little collection I picked up there of pre-decimal copper. And then another pre-decimal example from one of the other colonies at the time, Federation of Nigeria. There's a rather tiny coin here. 6 pence, 1959. Also with Queen Elizabeth II on there. So some African pre-decimal like we saw earlier with the South African one, just of a different part of the continent there. Let's see, what else have I got here? Here's some Mexican. Sorry to keep zooming in and out on you. I know you're probably getting seasick by now. Juarez, as in probably Benito Juarez, 50 pesos, 1985. This is the old Mexican peso, so these aren't in circulation anymore, and they aren't worth, well, pretty much anything now. I think this would probably be about 5 centavos of the new peso. Probably not worth a whole lot, but numismatically rather interesting thing. Nice thick coin, if you ask me. This one was also kind of neat. 500 pesos, 1987, with Madero. Not Maduro, Madero. And I've been told there is a double die obverse for a different year than the one I have here. And it is rather prominent, rather visible with the naked eye. But this is neither the proper year, nor is it indeed a DDO. Speaking of Latin America, here's another one. 10 centavos, Calarcá, República de Colombia, 1956. I do not have very much in the way of South American coinage, so this was a nice little pickup for me. Type that I didn't previously have. And speaking of Colombia, here's another one. Look at the shape this is. Look at the condition of this one. 1966, República de Colombia, with the cap of the Phrygian cap of liberty in the middle. 5 centavos. So is this their version of a V-nickel? I don't know. But it's a nice little copper coin nonetheless. And let's see here. Let's jump across to Europe now. 2 Deutschmarks. G mint mark. I never remember my German mint marks. 1969. G, I think, is Hamburg or Karlsruhe or Stuttgart. One of those. I can never remember which one it is. 1949 and 1969, commemorating the 20th anniversary of something, whoever this is. I must admit I'm not that up on my German coinage. Oh, there's an edge inscription there. Let's see if we can get the camera to work with me here. I can't tell what that says. Looking at it with my own 2 eyes. Oh, okay. Einigkeit und Recht und Freiheit. Yeah, I've done coin dictionary videos with that inscription before, and I just can't remember what it means. But that is 2 Deutschmarks. I think you can still technically exchange these for euros even now. So this is probably about, this is probably a little hair, this is about €1 actually, now that I think about it. So if I were to exchange that one, that would be what that would get. Still in Europe now, 10 shilling, 1974 from the Republik Österreich, or Austria, rather interesting coin. This is the first year they were made in cupro nickel, so I missed silver by just 1 year. But I've seen videos where you can still exchange Austrian coins at the central bank in Austria. I don't quite remember what the exchange rate is, but this could also theoretically be used if you know the proper channels. Quick hop over to the Middle East and Asia, government of Pakistan. What we have here? 2 annas, 1954. An unusual shape, which is why I picked it up. Plus, I do not have very many coins from Pakistan as it is. I'm not quite sure of the year. Oh, what am I saying? It's the year's right there. Hello. Pay attention, woohoo. Pretty neat coin there for me. This, I'm pretty sure, is a new country. Back to Africa or the region of Africa for a minute. Seychelles, 1 rupee, 1969. They're an island nation in the middle of the Indian Ocean, if I'm not mistaken. Queen Elizabeth II on this one as well. Does this? No, it just has a regular old reeded edge. No security edge, but neat little find there. And then we have some Greek stuff here. 20 lepta from the Kingdom of Greece, 1954. I think this is the first drachma. And then 10 drachmae from also the Kingdom of Greece, 1959. I believe this is King Paul I, if I remember correctly. So these I don't think you can use. These were rapidly demonetized in favor of the second drachma, as you can see right here, 50 and 100 drachmes, 1988 and 1992. I think the official exchange rate was something like 2,000 drachma to the euro. I can't remember. It was pretty large from what I remember. So there we are. A couple of Greek type coins that I didn't previously have. And I bought these next one. These are, I guess, kind of mistakes, if you will, because I thought these were silver. But I looked them up later, and they are not. 1953, Malaya and British Borneo, 5 cents. This is an extremely tiny coin. Again, with Queen Elizabeth II on the obverse. Had that sound that maybe I thought it was silver, and especially given the tarnish on it, I thought maybe it was. Same case with the tarnish on this one, even though I already have one of these from another year. 50 centavos, 1964. It's nickel brass or nickel aluminum brass or something like that from the Philippines. I just like this really large coin, which is why I picked one up. Even though I already have this type already, I have a different year now, and I guess I got a little tricked into thinking it was silver at first, but of course now that I have it under this light, I know that it is not. Okay, and now we have some stuff that is probably still face value stuff, like this British round pound. Even though, from 2003, even though they replaced it, redesigned the coin with a bimetallic type, these are still popular amongst British collectors. Decus et tutamen around the outer ridge, which means something like an ornament and a protection or something like that. I can't remember off the top of my head. But I do like these round pounds. Rather thick coins. I do like these. What we have here now? 1973. The centennial of the Royal Canadian Mounted Police. The Mounties, as they're colloquially known. Canada quarter. Again, we have a lot of Queen Elizabeth in this video here, I just realized. But this is a commemorative type that I didn't have before, so always nice to add one of these to my collection. And then some general world pocket change that I know I can still use, and this I think is where I made the bulk of my money. Not here, this is just 25 euro cents. This one's from Germany, this one's from France. Always handy to have some euros on hand in case you go to the Eurozone. 7 Danish kroner in total from the early 90s, 92 and 93. Queen Margrethe II, that's whose monogram we see kind of all decorating the whole there. I'm told the exchange value, at least from what I looked up, for 7 kroner combined is about $1. So that's not bad for what I essentially paid for these coins. And then, what do we have here? Let me zoom out a little bit here. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 11 and a half Swiss francs. None of these is silver, as best I can tell. These are all the cupro-nickel versions of these coins. But this alone right here exchanges for something approaching, 11 and a half or $12. It trades very close to the US dollar. So this is where I made the bulk of the profit, as I paid $8 for the entire lot. And last but not least, some Japanese yen, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 655 yen. This one, though, is a type that I did not previously have. You see, this is the Kaisho script. The kanji have some extra ornamentation, serifs, if you will, around the coin. Nowadays, they have, I guess, what would be equivalent to a sans serif font in Japanese. So this older type was one that I previously did not have. I think you can still find these circulating. As far as I'm aware, they are more or less the same composition as the current 5 yen coins. The only difference is that of the font on the coin. But that was a pretty nice find for me, so I had to pick one up. So 655 Japanese yen to go along with the 11.5 francs. And that, folks, is all she wrote when it comes to this collection pickup. This coin shop pickup. Let me know how you think I did down in the comments below. I think you already have a pretty good idea of how I did just on a pure numbers basis. But let me know what your favorite coin from this video is, and I'll see you next time when I've got more stuff I've picked up. Okay, I'll see you soon.